No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league.
What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and in today's video we're going to talk about the LEC. So first we're going to take a look at my thoughts from before the season. So I was right about some things and I was wrong about other things. That's how it generally works. So first of all, I think that the format for the LEC is amazing, and I want to take a moment to say that. The fact that they jammed a little bit more drama into the beginning of the season, very smart, and it really, kind of hypes everything up in the beginning of the season. I think that's really smart. It'll be really cool to see what they do in this next stage and to see how competitive it really is. I'm not very, convinced that these mid-level teams will be able to keep up, but we'll be able to see, next week or 2 weeks from now. So that'll be cool. So let's go through what I was right about and what I was wrong about, and we'll go from the top to bottom. So the two teams I had in the A tier, I had Vitality and G2. I was right on Vitality, talent over everything. I have a bet on them to win the split, I believe, as a part of a parlay. That looks pretty good. Next up, G2. I was right on G2. Yike is a carry-style jungler, and they play around it well. That's all you really needed to convince yourself of to have a chance at making money on them this split. Some people didn't understand why I thought that they would play around Yike. It's because he's a carry jungler. Why would you not play around him? Next up, XL. Wrong on XL, very wrong. I think the talent is still there. It was a bad split. I think they'll improve greatly next split. I'm not going to give up on them. I think Patrick and Vetio are good players. Targamas is a good player. I think that this team will be able to improve pretty significantly. Xerxes is most likely the problem. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Okay, Xerxes is probably going to get replaced. I don't know if he is the problem, but that's probably where you have to start just to freshen things up. You can't really blame them. Vetio talked about some confidence issues, but we'll see how that goes next split. Next up, Koi. I was wrong on Koi, but they can still make it to the Final Four, so we'll talk about them later on. I was right on Fnatic. I didn't realize how right I was. And I guess I kind of hedged, but there was no way I was going to make them like 9th or 10th. So let's go through it. Before the season started, Fnatic was plus 275. That means that they had a 30% chance to win the split. There was no way that you could touch that number. And the reasons why are because Reckless is an okay player, but he's not a difference maker. I think he's almost a liability at this point. Rux is a 25 to 26-year-old no-name support who didn't break through in carry. Shocking how that happens. Humanoid is the most overrated player in the world. I've been saying that for 2 years now, maybe 2.5 years. And then Wonder and Razork had bad splits. LS was ripping Wonder the other day, saying he's bad because of locking in Aatrox. I don't know if you can really say that he's bad because he chose Aatrox. That might be a coaching decision as well, so we have to figure out. Kind of tough to separate there. Next up, we have Mad Lions. I was right on Mad Lions being better bot lane than they were given credit for. El Yoya is definitely still the heart and soul of this team, but Karzi has had a really good split, and the bot lane is just pretty strong. It's not flipping every single game, and I think that Hillsong said something about this yesterday. He's like, people say that we flip everything. We don't. It's calculated, and we're just better than the other players, and we're more aggressive. So we see angles and we take them, and that's the way that you have to play League, and that's why I've always appreciated Hillsong. If he thinks that he sees something, he's going to try to go in. Then we have Astralis. I was wrong about the level I think Astralis could get to in the winter. This tier list from before was really more long-term for the full season. So I think that this could end up being correct in the long term. But I think Jonghoon is a very good player. There was a lot of bad drafting. Dajor is just a bad player. He probably shouldn't be in the league, if we're being honest. 113, Finn, and Kabe are all okay. It's tough to see how good they are without a better mid laner just to kind of keep everything on time in the game. Then next up we have Heretics. Heretics gets Cassante every draft. I think they're going to get slapped in playoffs. I'm not too concerned about it. BDS, I'm not shocked that I'm sort of surprised that they played much better than I kind of expected. Adam, you knew that he was always going to be a carry threat, and in the Cassante meta, he had some answers to that, which is pretty good. I don't think they're going to really go anywhere. And then SK Gaming, again, they made it on, but we'll talk about them again in a second. So the standings from the regular season, we had Vitality in first, then we had Mad Lions, SK Gaming, G2, BDS, Heretics, Koi, Astralis, and then Fnatic and Excel didn't qualify for the next stage. I think that Vitality, Mad Lions, and G2 really look much better than the other teams. SK Gaming, I'm not convinced. BDS, I'm not convinced. Heretics, I'm not convinced. Koi, I think, will play better in playoffs than they did during the regular season. I think their experience should be helpful just because they're more used to playing the best of threes, and I think that their expectations, are going to kind of bring up their level. They expect to play better than they have been, and they'll be able to get back into form, in my opinion. So those were the standings, and then let's take a look at... Let's take a look at the lines for the playoffs. So these are the matches for next week. We have Vitality against Heretics. Obviously, I think Vitality is the better side. I think Vitality is 1 to 2 tiers better than Team Heretics, which means their money line should be minus 200 to minus 250. It's at minus 600, which means you can't really touch it. Team Heretics at plus 350. I'm not playing that number, but at least they're giving you value for it. I really don't see any way of Heretics winning. If they do, I'll cry. SK Gaming against Koi. So I'm a little surprised that Koi is listed as the favorite. I'm not sure if this was the number when it was immediately released. Money probably came in on the Koi side. Could I see SK Gaming beating Koi? I mean, maybe. Let's just go lane by lane real quick. Irrelevant against Shigenda, I think it's pretty even. Marcoon against Malrong. I think they're both good junglers. I prefer Malrong for sure. Certus against Larson, I prefer Larson. Exakick and DOS versus Comp and Trimby. I still prefer Comp and Trimby, so I'm gonna be on Koi there. If they continue to play, if SK continues to perform well, you can't really hate on them for it. Like, good job. I just don't see them making it to the finals either way. It'll be a tough path to get there. Then we have Mad Lions against Astralis. That's a huge line, minus 1,000. You're not going to touch that. It would be cool if Astralis pulled that off, but that's probably not going to happen. And then we have G2 Esports and BDS. Again, G2 Esports, pretty big favorite. So then in the next stage, let's go to the wiki. In the next stage, you're going to get, since it's the double elimination, you're going to get Vitality against Koi. I'll take Vitality. Then it's going to be Koi against the winner of SK Team Heretics. So it'll probably be a rematch of SK versus Koi, and I'll take Koi again. And then they'll get sent down here. Then you have Mad against Astralis. Mad will advance. G2 will advance, and I think G2 will advance. Mad Lions will advance. So then we'll have G2 against Vitality in the winners finals. I think that's how it would work, and I would prefer Vitality in that match heads up. I think that G2 would be the favorite probably on the sportsbook, so that might be a chance to play Vitality as an underdog. But again, I have a future on them in a parlay, so I might not end up betting any additional money on that. And then that's the thing that sucks. Is at the end of the day, I still think those 4 teams, 3 to 4 teams, are just pretty much better from a long-term talent perspective. But that's basically it. So, I think the LEC winter format is really smart. Definitely generated a lot of interest in a very short amount of time. And it also lets the best of 1 format shine, because there are more opportunities for upsets that will actually have an impact on who makes playoffs and who gets knocked out. That was pretty cool to see. So I'm excited to see, where it goes next. I wish that the LCS would do something like this. I bet they will. I don't think that the LPL and the LCK will, because I think they believe so much in competitive integrity and having the matches reflect the reality of these teams are better. They should be winning 2 out of 3. If the underdog wins the first game. Do they really deserve to take all the points from that match? Probably not. But, every region is different, and LEC and LCS are fighting for viewers and, relevance, because at the end of the day, when you get to MSI and to Worlds, they're most likely not going to compete, or at least most of their teams will not be very competitive, is what I should say. But that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.